Hi. My name is Marlene, and I have a story to tell you. When I was 59, I'm 62 years old. But in 2008, something bad happened to me. I was being followed. It was dark. It was about 8:30, 9 o'clock between that when I took off. And eventually I thought I lost him. But en route to my girlfriend, I was intercepted by the same car that was following me. So I was on a bicycle, he was in his car. I stopped there and I asked him, why are you following me? This one night, I was on this guy's menu. He was so sure that I was going to be on his menu, he turned on the light inside the car. I could see him, and as I'm talking to him, warning him if he doesn't leave me alone, I'm going to call the cops. I'm tilting my head to the left, and I'm keeping an eye on him, trying to make the make of the car, trying to remember his license plate. And as I'm doing this, he's backing up, and the hairs behind my neck just stood out. I said, "It's time to rock and roll, baby." So I got up on my bike and I started pedaling. I had to think very quickly. There was a lane not far from there. I cut through the lane. About the fourth or fifth house down, there was a branch there in the entrance, so this is my life on the line. I jumped the branch and went behind the house. I hid. I waited a good 10 minutes at least. And I went along the side of the house. On my left, I kept just crouched down to see if there wasn't any car there. After 10 minutes, he was still in his car. I could see the red lights in his car. So I went back to where my bicycle was, and I hid my bicycle inside between the leaves in a small garden on the side of the house. There was a floodlight up on top, I remember. Now, this yin yang was looking for someone standing up vertically, so I had to think fast. Be horizontal, blend with the environment. It was just tiny shrubs, skinny little tree, but I had to blend in the environment. So I laid down. I put my purse behind my head. I suffer of fibromyalgia, and now I have been years. And when I get very nervous, it's very loud. So I told myself, this guy is out for blood, man. It's not his first time he's done this. And hopefully it will be his last. I could just get to some help. I got his license plate. I could identify this blankety blank. And he played with my head all night long. All he did was circle around where I was. Circle the block. And he tooted his horn. toot, 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 toot. That way I was able to know if he was near or far. I was praying to God that this is not the way I want to go. This is definitely not the way I want to go. No. I could hear him come out of his car. And I told myself, girl, you gotta blend with the environment or you're dead meat. On my left, I had there was a bed of flowers with fresh earth. And that night was so hot. The mosquitoes were eating me alive, and I was burning up like a flame. Painful, as well as psychological. So I thought I had the idea of taking some fresh earth and covering myself with it from head to toe. You lie down, you're horizontal, you blend with the environment. And pray to God that He doesn't find you. My heart was pounding out of my chest, but I'm a survivor. When I was a child, we were abandoned by my mother. And I had two little sisters to help, to protect. I survived these 5 pedophiles. I could survive anything. Just put your mind to it, girl. And my son needs me. This is not the way I want to go. This monster. When I confronted him before I took off, he turned lights up on inside his car. He was so sure that he was having me for supper or hors d'oeuvres, whatever. This was a professional. This was not the first time this man did this. He knew what he was doing. How many people died at his hands? Unfortunately, how many people will die after I give him this slip? Yes, I gave this blankety blank the slip. I managed to outwit him. I could hear him coming out of his car and slamming the door. He was just a few yards away from me. I didn't want him to get me. It seemed like the beating in my heart was so much. I thought he was just going to find me for the beating in my heart. I pray, God, please help me survive this again. I hate to bother you, but I'm in deep shit. When I was hearing him walking about, I could hear the branches snapping. I was scared out of my wits, but I knew I was going to survive. Because I did in the past, and I know how to do it again. Now, I laid there on the grass for a while. All I could hear him was slamming his door. He was bitching, cussing and cursing. Because he knew I could identify him. He knew I had his license plate. And that he was gone. I was able to put an end. I would have been able to put an end to him. But this is where it got worse. Unfortunately, I called the cops. I don't know why. I should have never done that, because that was bad news for me. Good news for the killer. I found a fence in the dark that I couldn't find. After putting my purse over my head, I climbed over the fence, and I got lucky. There was an opening in the fence, sort of like loose. I let my body roll to the other side. And thank God, on the left of me, 2 windows were open. So I took the screen and put it gently on the side. And I whispered to the people, I'm in distress. Could you please help me? Please. In French. Because I didn't understand. And the English, I guess. So, they motioned me to wait for them on the veranda or the balcony, whatever that is. They came out. They saw I was shaking because by then it was the wee hours of the night. All these hours I've been enduring this great playing with my head. They gave me a blanket and gave me a coffee. I shouldn't have called the police. No, I shouldn't. But I did. And that's where everything went wrong. Terribly wrong. The 2 young fellows in their 20s. No maturity whatsoever. And I had to convince these 2 that the horrors just went through. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. I went through the worst time you could imagine with these 2 young yams.